We are Newsroom. Hello and welcome once again from Johannesburg here in South Africa. Very good morning. If you have just joined us, don't forget, of course, between 9 and 12, this show is also broadcast live on YouTube, the streaming facility there, so you can watch us throughout the day. Now, we ask you a question today. Of course, our focus today will be around the conflict and humanitarian crisis in Mozambique. Should there be more focus on the violence and this humanitarian crisis playing out in the northern parts of that country? That's the question we want you to tell us your thoughts around it today. But first, lots of news Monday morning. Elvis will give us the details.
The sentencing hearings of the Czech fugitive Radovan Kriča and 5 others resume at the South Gauteng High Court this morning. Students from the University of Pretoria arrested last night during clashes with police appear in court. And the Democratic Alliance and independent candidates contesting the by-elections in the Tlokwe municipality will approach the electoral court. Now, these are some of your headlines, but before we get to the news, let's find out from Kendall Makhamate what's happening on the sports front. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Elvis. Thank you very much. And good morning to you. What we've got in the sports today is quite a lot of news about what happened over the weekend. First up, of course, would have been the Proteas thrashing England by 9 wickets, with Hashim Amla and AB de Villiers playing cameo roles and starting in that one, as well as Orlando Pirates beating Aces 3-1 to actually land up in the top 8. Of course, we also have got the Dubai Championships and Novak Djokovic extremely confident ahead of the Dubai Championships. More about all of that a little later at 10:20 in the sports. Back to you all.
Thank you, Kendall. You will be back a little bit later, so you have to stay tuned. Right now, let's take a look at your top story this morning. The long-delayed sentencing hearing of Czech fugitive Radovan Kriča and 5 others is scheduled to resume in the High Court in Johannesburg today. They were found guilty of attempted murder, kidnapping and intent to deal in drugs in August last year.
3 Hawks officers are among the convicted. The case relates to a 2013 foil drug deal during which Becky Temba Lukele was assaulted and kidnapped. This after Lukele's brother, the courier, disappeared with Kriča's tick. The little outstanding matter, sentencing.
The accused should know that there comes an end of continued postponements. They've been convicted, they were convicts, they need to be sentenced and dealt with as persons who have been convicted and sentenced. You say it makes a difference.
Yes.
Well, then they definitely need to be sentenced earlier rather than later.
Will Kriča again throw a spoke in the wheel?
This is the man. Just wait. It was not.
With an increasingly irate judge.
Even if it means to infringe on an otherwise constitutional right to legal representation towards the accused, then so be it. Because in this instance, it's a question of an abuse of his rights. And there's a big distinction. The court cannot tolerate these kind of postponements and hiccups every now and then.
If Kriča pulls it off again, it will further frustrate the bench and his co-accused, who have already cried prejudice. Gillian Pillay, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Now for an update on the story, our reporter Gillian Pillay is at the South Gauteng High Court and she now joins us. A very good morning to you, Gillian. Can you tell us what can we expect today in court? It's long awaited. People are waiting for the outcome.
A very good morning to you, Elvis. Everything is in place for the sentencing hearing of those 6 convicted persons who will be taking the dock around about 10 o'clock this morning. But we did receive some information from sources that Kriča will not have legal representation again this morning. So that changes the dynamics of these proceedings. What Judge Lamont will now have to juggle with is to postpone it again, which he has been, as you saw in that clip, he was exceptionally frustrated at the amount of postponements that we've seen in this matter. These 6 men, they were convicted August 24th. It's 6 months on now, and we still haven't had arguments in these pre-sentencing hearings. So he'll have to look at whether, to postpone will infringe on the rights of Kretschmer, and at the bigger picture, whether it's going to infringe on the rights of the other 5. The other 5 have made it very clear to this court that they've been prejudiced with all the stop and starts. Initially, it was pre-sentencing reports from correctional services that had delayed the sentencing hearing, but in the wake of that, we saw numerous times Kretschmer saying he doesn't have legal representation, firing his legal representatives at the 11th hour. And the prosecution has been at pains, pushing for this matter to go ahead, calling for the judge to continue in the light of when you're convicted, that sentencing must take place shortly after a conviction. And that's not what we've seen in this matter, Elvis. So it's very difficult to say if this matter will go ahead. It could possibly go ahead, but it's all up to the bench to make a proclamation, to, as Advocate Lewis said there in that clip, the judge has recourse now to continue looking at an alleged abuse of rights in Kretschmer's case, Elvis.
Talk to us about the security situation in and around the court.
Currently, a short while ago, we were told to vacate the court, where a number of things happened. TRT comes in and they sweep the court area. They put up metal detectors. Even us as journalists, we have to put on our ID numbers. We go through body searches. We're not allowed to bring in cell phones and laptops, only a notebook and a pen. Judge Lamont himself has been surrounded by protective manpower since the start of this trial in 2014. Kretschmer himself, when he comes to court, and the other 5, there's a lot of logistics around getting those 6 men to the cells here. What will happen in a short while from now, a lot of TRT members, heavily armed, will then converge on this particular court. And it's under that atmosphere that these proceedings will take place. I don't think even members of the public realize how much logistics goes into this. A lot of costs, Elvis, goes into a day like today. And it's quite wasteful seeing the postponements after postponements and the wasteful expenditure in having to get these 6 guys to court, Elvis.
Why is there so much security around Kretschmer, the co-accused, as well as the judge?
Well, you've seen what's been out there in the media around attempted escapes, plots, wanting to take Judge Lamont out. A range of reports have come into the media around alleged escape attempts, and that is what police that's what they've, trying to prevent any other motive of such a nature taking place. But we also know that Kretschmer's, him coming into the country came under false passport. We know that he left the Czech Republic, he escaped. So it's those kinds of detail that has our security here in South Africa on a high alert. A man that has been convicted, but we're unable to get ahead with sentencing. And the authorities have said that they are of the opinion that he's just trying to evade jail time. So that's why we're seeing this heightened security around Kretschmer himself, apart from the other accused, Lamont, and the prosecutor himself being surrounded by such heavy security detail because of the sensitivity of this matter and the fears that, anything can happen, Elvis.
Gillian, you'll give us an update a little bit later, but thank you so much for that report. That was our report on the scene, Gillian Pillay. She'll keep us updated about the proceedings there. Now, Sipho Stierman, our reporter, has been following the story. He joins us now live from the University of Pretoria, where students are gathering. As you know, lots of violence at that particular campus. Sipho, can you give us an update as to what is happening there?
Well, a very good morning to you, Elvis. We are here at the University of Pretoria, our main campus in Hatfield. The university's gates have been reopened after they were shut on Friday when the university obtained an interdict following clashes between EFF, Student Command, and AfriForum Youth. Of course, this is all around the language policy because some students are calling for Afrikaans to fall as a second language of instruction at the university, while others are fighting against that, saying that the university should not scrap the language, but rather add another third African language as a medium of instruction. Now, where we are here, is that students are gathering to go to the magistrates court in Pretoria, where the 27 students that were arrested by police on Friday are going to be appearing. And now, so what they've done here is that they're gathering some support and they will be heading that way. But currently here with me, I have some of two second-year students who are just going to be commenting on this issue of the language policy and some of the disruptions that have happened this year based on all of these protest actions. And just, if you can just talk to me, do you support this movement for Africans to fall?
I'm not sure if I support it. It's very powerful though. So what the youth is doing is really encouraging and they're getting their goals. But the way they're doing it, I'm not too sure. I don't know if that's right.
All right, and you say, what's your take on it?
I think it's a powerful movement for our youth in South Africa. You know, it really shows that we're fearless and we can do anything with courage, you know, and everything. So I think it's a good movement for our country, you know, yeah.
All right, now, as I mentioned a bit earlier, that 27 students were arrested on Friday following clashes with the police. Now, what is your take on the events on Friday with 27 students being arrested?
I actually saw that. I was outside. I witnessed it. The way they went about it was once again not right. But maybe arresting them wasn't doing them quite justice. I think that was maybe a bit harsh. But what I did see was a student throw a rubbish bin at a police car. And I don't know, that's just disrespect and that shouldn't happen.
For me, my take, I think it's not fair. It was not fair for the youth because they were trying to fight for what's right for them, you know. But the policemen were shooting grenades, you know, which is not fair. And like others were got shot, you know, and everything. So I think it was wrong, yeah.
All right. Well, as you can hear yourself, the students are a bit divided on the matter of Africans must fall. The two students I've had here with me, one is saying they support the movement and one is not. But one thing they seem to agree on, they seem to believe that the arrest of the 27 students was a bit harsh and that the matter could have been handled a little bit better. Now, from here, of course, we're going to go to the Pretoria Magistrates Court where the students are due to appear. And we expect the case to be dismissed. Well, at least that's what the legal representative told us, that they'll be applying for the students to be released on a warning. The students, of course, we know they were released over the weekend on a bail of 500 rands each, and now they'll be making that court appearance, supported by students from here at UP dressed in black, and they're calling this UP Black Monday.
Sipho, thank you so much for that update. You'll keep us updated about the court hearings a little bit later to tell us what's going on there. That's where we got to leave it with our reporter. Right now, our theme for the day is on Mozambique. Focus on that particular country. Eben has more.
Thank you very much, Elvis. Yes, rising tensions and violence in Mozambique have caused thousands of people to flee into Malawi, with concerns mounting over a continued humanitarian crisis due to overcrowded camps in that country. Close to 6,000 Mozambicans have now settled in a camp at the Malawian village of Capise. That's 100 kilometers south of the capital, Lilongwe. The Mozambicans say they fled fighting in the north of their country between government forces and the opposition, Renamo. Now, for more on this story, a little bit more detail, we are joined this morning by Milton Maluleke. He's the SABC's Channel Africa reporter. You've just returned from Mozambique, Milton. There's been a lot of posturing and we see the humanitarian crisis escalating in the northern parts of the country. We see very little reportage on it, though. Can you give us a quick overview as to what did you experience during your time in Mozambique now?
During my time in Mozambique, I experienced a lot of fear coming from the people that I spoke to, because Dhlakama promised, actually from 2014 when we had the presidential elections, that he will seize the 6 provinces between the center and north of Mozambique from next month. And the tension is escalating because the deadline that he gave is actually in March, like the next month.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what are ordinary Mozambicans saying right now? Because it's their lives, especially in the northern parts of the country. We see occasional incidents elsewhere in the country, but it seems as if war has, well, the northern parts of the country are gripped by a civil war right now.
Yes, the government says that is not actually, we cannot call it a war. They are saying that it's a tension, but from what we see, from what we hear, it's actually a war. Because, for example, the police just reintroduced the convoy under the armed escort.
Yeah.
What we saw in 2013, 2014. And they actually reintroduced it last week. And we saw a lot of trucks, a lot of people actually get bent, even shot.
Yeah.
And people are actually afraid of traveling to those provinces, and are the most richest provinces. And everything comes actually most from those areas. And now people are saying that they are living in fear. They don't know if they will travel there because they have families, they have a business, they have a lot of things to do that in those areas.
In those areas, the pictures we see on screen right now have been given to us by the United Nations. They are helping refugees in the northern parts of the country. What do you know about this escalating refugee crisis that's developing in Malawi? We see big camps, just like the ones we see on screen, are busy popping up in that country, and it's causing Malawi great difficulty, one would think, because the country's been laid low by drought and other crises itself in recent times.
There are reports, official reports coming from the government side and from the public media. Actually, they do say that is a humanitarian crisis. Is not because of the clashes between the government and the Renamo. But the truth must be told, because we managed to interview some refugees in that side. Actually, they end up even saying that they were threatened, or actually they saw their houses burnt because they were giving food and accommodation to a Renamo militia. But the government says that they fled to Malawi because there's this humanitarian crisis. There's no rains nowadays. That's why they are running to Malawi. But anyway, we are getting two different stories about the same issue.
Yeah.
And then we are actually even now expecting to know how many people, for example, died since 2013 when this clashes started. But we don't have those kind of informations. So we cannot even rely to the government because we cannot find accurate reports or even figures about the people who died, about people who fled to Malawi, because organizations such as Human Rights Watch, even UN High Commission for Refugees, they started in December stating that there are refugees in Malawi. The government saying that there is no refugees.
Yeah.
They only accepted that the beginning of this month. So, which means that the information there is very confused. Actually, I think the best thing is to go actually and visit those camps to find out what actually is happening.
Yeah, that's a very difficult thing on reporting on it, because very little is coming out of the northern areas, very little pictures, video material, and the like. But we'll try and speak to the UN and etc. a little bit later in the show, and maybe they can give us a view. But tell us about what you've encountered. Now, we have reports that there are isolated incidents even on the main road, the highway connecting north and south. I think it's the MN1 or
we call it N1.
Yeah.
Especially from the Sav River that starts from Sofala and Manica province.
Yeah.
And 100 kilometers to the village that we call Mushungwe, where was the stronghold of Renamo when around the 16 years of the civil war. So these escorts from the police starts from the Mushung Sav River, goes up to Mushung village. So it's 2 convoys per day in both sides, but they only do it in daylight It started on Thursday last week. Up to now, they didn't report clashes with the Renamo militia up to now.
Up to now. Very, very interesting. Milton, thank you for coming in on such short notice. I know you've just returned, you returned this morning from Mozambique and giving us right off the press as it's coming into the big city. Thank you very much to Milton Maluleke. He's a Channel Africa reporter here with the SABC. Thank you for joining us. Of course, our question today deals with what is reported now as an escalating situation in Mozambique. Milton has just painted us the picture on the ground in that country. We'll continue this discussion for most of the rest of the show today. Of course, looking back to the weekend, yesterday President Jacob Zuma hosted an Armed Forces Day. Now, it was a very colourful event aiming to celebrate and honour members of the South African Defence Force under the theme, a professional and capable defence force for the people of South Africa. Yes, it was a wonderful day in Port Elizabeth. Let's have a look at some of the tweets, some of the pictures that came in from Armed Forces Day. This one from Bonolo talks about having witnessed the occasion in Saldanha, Cape Town. It is one of the most beautiful celebrations. The dedication is heartwarming. Yes, indeed it is. There you have a wreath-laying ceremony. Of course, the presidency tweeted, President Zuma lays wreath at the SS Mendy Memorial for soldiers who died when the Mendy sank in 1917. That one from Zizi Cordwa. Bravo to the men and women who displayed the SA military capabilities in Port Elizabeth during Armed Forces Day celebration. Such a solemn occasion. Yes, a solemn occasion. There you see them beaching on King's Beach, helicopters dropping soldiers. It was a very colourful event. Pictures from Temba Ntetwa. Thank you very much. There you see it. Armed Forces Day, a helicopter landing right on King's Beach in Port Elizabeth. Wonderful to see during, you can only see it, of course, during Armed Forces Day. This year was in Port Elizabeth, culminated yesterday. Pink Jim's Golf Night sent us that picture as well. Now let's take a look at our tweet picture of the day. Now, this one comes from 350.org. Now, aerial footage is starting to come in, showing the extent of the damage. Can we take the picture? Do we have it? The damage of Cyclone Winston in Fiji. Do we have it full screen? Can we put it full screen? No? There we have it. I can't see it on my screen, unfortunately. Thank you very much. That is the extent of the damage, Cyclone Winston. That is incoming, of course, right now. Massive cleanup is underway. Let's now take a quick look at the front pages from around the globe. We'll start in Europe, where the Times reports that Boris Johnson electrified the referendum race by backing the campaign to take Britain out of the European Union. Yes, a referendum on the cards there, and it's going to be a very difficult one. The Tehran Times says a high-ranking Omani delegation led by the country's Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah and the Minister of Commerce and Industry Ali bin Masoud al-Sunaidi met Iranian oil and trade ministers in Tehran yesterday to bolster bilateral economic ties. Finally, we move east. The South China Morning Post reports that researchers have long known that air pollution can lead to asthma and other respiratory issues, but a new study suggests that air pollution causes weight gain in just 19 days of exposure. That's a very interesting one. Of course, lots happening in the courts here in South Africa. Let's take a look at our court diary quickly. Now, here in Johannesburg, of course, the big story today. Czech fugitive Radovan Krejcir and his 5 co-accused are expected to be sentenced in the High Court in August of last year. Krejcir was convicted of attempted murder, kidnapping, and dealing in drugs. Then, Cape Town, the trial of a woman accused of kidnapping newborn baby Zephany Nurse from Groote Hospital 19 years ago. He's expected to appear in the Western Cape High Court as well. She faces charges of kidnapping, fraud, and contravening the Children's Act. Yes, Heinrich Weinhardt wrote a beautiful book about the life of Zephany Nurse. Interesting. It's in the courts today. We'll be back with you here on Newsroom after a short break.
And now in production, Chetty Miller, SAB Miller, and Hauser Bush InBev. It's something that I need to learn to say more often.
Will together produce around a third of the world's beer.
It is a mouthful.
Have you ever considered skin bleaching? Nigeria tops the list of African countries with 77% of its women bleaching their skin.
Now I can see that it is not good because it affects my face and some of my body parts.
Thousands of Arab Israelis and Palestinians participated in a big rally.
Flight MH17 was shot down by a Russian-made missile.
How those chips may fall is a prediction best left to the currency of time.
That's Primetime News, Africa Journal, and Your World on SABC News.
Born with malformation of the limbs, David lives his life to the fullest.
I got this. Let me try my own. Got on the bed, then start playing soccer in the streets, then like do this.
He can play soccer, he reads and writes, he is even able to swim, a role model to his peers.
Look at the scripture. It doesn't say I'm a conqueror, it says I'm more than a conqueror.
Join your host Buleng Mulebati on Bophelong every Friday at 17:30.
Welcome back. Now, as you know, we're asking you a very important question today on Mozambique and, of course, the escalating violence that's currently happening in that country. And the question that we pose to you, should there be more focus on the violence and the humanitarian crisis that's currently unfolding in Mozambique? You can let us know what's on your mind on the Twitter handle at SABC Newsroom. Also, like us on the Facebook page, and you can comment there. Meanwhile, the Mozambican government has expressed concern over the low standards in which its citizens are living in Capichi, the refugee camp in neighboring Malawi. The camp is currently sheltering nearly 6,000 Mozambican citizens who fled the recent outbreak of conflict. There are concerns over water and sanitation, and aid agencies say that they only have enough food to last 2 months for now. There are also concerns that illnesses will spread due to the cramped space in the camps. But to tell us a little bit more and to give us a better idea of what's really going on there, joining us from our Pretoria studios is the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, representative from Malawi, Monique Ikoko. Monique, a very good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning.
Monique, can you give us a sense of what the humanitarian crisis that we are referring to that's currently unfolding in Malawi due to the refugees coming from Mozambique?
Yeah, thank you very much. What we have is a group of refugees who fled into Malawi since July. It's actually a site. We will not call it a camp because as we speak, there are more than 7,000 people on this site as of yesterday. It is unfortunate to know that the situation is not very good. The refugees who have crossed through the border, I can say they are excited because they have at least left behind the violence that they are alleging. There's also a sense of frustration. There's also equally some sense of anxiety because they are not sure what is going to be coming next. What we have is 7,000 people living in a space that is actually designed for less than 3,000 people. The standards we have for the UN, it's 45 square meters per person, but now where they're living is just 11 square meters. You can imagine the chaos that is there in terms of sanitation, and given that the toilets are built so close to the houses, and what is the fear is the fact that if we were to have a cholera or any disease outbreak, it's going to be disastrous. But we continue to say thank you to the Malawian government for opening their doors to these people. But at the same time, we continue to appeal to them to ensure that they provide adequate space so that we can be able to support and protect these people in a safe and dignified manner.
Ms. Ikoko, those numbers of 7,000 that you've just mentioned, it seems like they're growing. Are they growing more by the day? Are people streaming across the border even more?
Yes, indeed. What happened is that over the weekend, which is Friday and Saturday, we got more than 500 people in, which is a drastic increase from the past weeks. We are being told that some of them are running away preemptively because they have been told that things are going to get bad. And as we receive them, we have to make space to ensure that they are accommodated rightly. But as we speak now, the situation is that we do not have enough land to provide adequate accommodation for these people. UNHCR has actually sent in a site planner to help, but until we are given adequate land so that some kind of sanitation corridors can be created, we would not be able to do much.
Mm-hmm. Do you have enough funds to care for these people that are streaming across and to take care of their sanitation needs?
Indeed, UNHCR has, in conjunction with our partners, we prepared a contingency plan which amounted to about $1.8 million to take care of these people. But this was on the proviso that, it was done on a figure of about 10,000 people, but the rate at which the growth is taking place now, the increase is taking place, we might go above that number. So it is just natural that we continue to appeal to donors who are out there to help us. And most of our partners, UN partners, have come in. We have UNICEF, which is assisting with health facilities, with sanitation facilities. We have MSF on the ground. We have the WFP, who have also provided food. And, the food rations that we have now would only take us for 2 months. And after that, we have to start funding. But so far, UNHCR has provided mosquito nets, plastic sheetings, tarpaulins, kitchen utensils, mosquito nets, especially because the rate of malaria is very high. And we have to make sure that we try to divert that as much as possible.
Now, there has been a call by the Mozambican government for all these refugees to return. Do you see them return anytime soon back to their country?
According to what the refugees are telling us, I do not see them returning home very soon. While we appreciate the efforts of the Mozambican government to have their citizens go back home, we have reiterated that they must be able to return to a secure location. And allegedly, they are telling us that some of them fled because their houses were being burnt. Some of them fled because they were being victimized for harboring Renamo soldiers. And this is definitely a problem. We need to ensure that if they were to return, they must be returning to a place which is safe. Nobody is going to be sent back home against their will, and it has to be a voluntary situation. And we have reiterated this to both governments, both to the Malawian government as well as the Mozambican government, that return has to be voluntary and it has to be safe, and it will be done in a safe and dignified manner.
Monique, thank you so much for that update, and thank you for joining us in our studios there.
Thank you.
That was Monique Ikoko, the United Nations High Commission for Refugee Representatives from Malawi. As you can hear, it's a crisis in Mozambique. Let's go over to Eben.
Yeah, an escalating crisis. The last week alone has seen a dramatic increase in the number of arrivals to these camps in Malawi from Mozambique. The estimated number of people who have now fled the conflict is estimated to be more than 7,000. However, the camps are well overcrowded, and there are fears that illnesses will spread rapidly if another camp is not set up soon. Now, joining us from Blantyre in Malawi is Doctors Without Borders Head of Mission in Mozambique and Malawi, Amaury Gregoire. A very good morning to you, Amaury. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning.
We have we have a situation that's developing. I'm hoping maybe your representatives can give us a better idea. What is happening? There's refugees are alleging that they're being attacked and being victimized in northern Mozambique. From what you're seeing, the people that are arriving in these camps, is that the case?
Well, what we've seen since mid of November, more or less, is effectively a lot of people who have arrived. Until end of December, it was around 1,000 people. It has increased drastically in January to arrive close to 3,000-4,000 end of January, and effectively today we have passed the 6,000 number of people that have arrived in Capuce, which is a small village of around 100 to 150 people. We have assisted now since 4 months with in support of the Ministry of Health, the provision of medical aid to these people. We also increased the capacity of the water straight away. We rehabilitated some train. We drilled new boreholes, but despite the effort and due to the late rains also, the availability of water is of concern. Today, despite the new boreholes that have been built, we don't manage to reach more than 8 liters per person per day, which is half of what is necessary in such situation. And it's the same situation for the latrines. It's extremely difficult. The overcrowding of the camp is huge. The availability of land over there is not easy. And the access for the humanitarian agencies is very complicated. Now, the rains have arrived. The car and the truck have great difficulty to reach actually Capuce when it rains. And it is absolutely urgent that these people can be offered additional land. Capuce is not enough to be able to receive all these people.
Omar, give us an idea about what threats are you facing immediately in the camps, like disease. We even hear reports of malaria being a real threat now.
Yeah, effectively, we have around 150 to 160 consultations per day. Half of them are for malaria. There is also infections, upper respiratory infections. Cases of diarrhea. We haven't reached yet a case of any epidemic disease that we can expect when we have such an overcrowding. Measles is a concern. There have been measures that have been taken by the ministry and the partners to ensure the maximum prevention that we can do, but it's impossible to provide adequate standards, humanitarian standards in such overcrowded settings.
Omar, thank you very much. I'll have to leave you there. Unfortunately, the quality is not that great, so I'm not sure if you could make out the last bit there. But we lost the connection. As you know, he's, Omar is coming to us live there via Skype from Blantyre in Malawi, and we were battling a little bit of sound issues there. But the general picture does not look good coming out of the camps in the southern parts of Malawi as more and more, refugees come out of northern Mozambique into Malawi, into these camps 100 kilometers south of the Malawian capital, Lilongwe. Now, of course, today here in Johannesburg, Czech fugitive Radovan Krejcir and his 5 co-accused are expected to be sentenced shortly. Should be underway almost right now in the High Court here in Johannesburg. Lots of tweets around it, of course. It's a big story of the day. There you see the courthouse. Well, matters have not yet gotten underway. Of course, our reporter Gillian Pillay, she is, she'll be giving us an update, hopefully at around 10 o'clock, top of the show, to tell us what is happening there. Let's have a look at the comments now. Now, Mandy Wiener, of course, we all know her here in South Africa. She talked about Krejcir is yet to be sentenced, but is being kept at the highest security correctional facility in the country in Kokstad, says Mandy Wiener. Objective Teller says Krejcir's story is so interesting. Yes, amongst other stories, very interesting, the crime boss story. Moira Ricky talks about, why is this man still in South Africa? Why hasn't he been placed in a rowing boat and pushed out to sea? Moira, we don't do that kind of thing anymore. That's in the previous dispensation, my dear. Les Faber talks about, if Radovan Krejcir had an elaborate escape plans allegedly uncovered by officials, why have we not seen arrests of accomplices and the pilot, asks Les Faber. Are there any more? That's the last question, the last comment with regard to what is happening with Radovan Kwestia. This is our question to you today. Should there be more focus on the violence and humanitarian crisis in Mozambique? Is it happening? Well, our Channel Africa reporter, Milton Maluleke, told us a little bit earlier that yes, there is a humanitarian crisis. The UNHCR told us yes, that the refugees are claiming that their homes are being set alight and that they're being seen as sympathizers of Renamo. They're being chased out of the country, accused of harboring Renamo soldiers. That's some of the reports we have coming out this morning. That's our question. We want you to give us your views on it. Now, let's go to Newsroom's Facebook page quickly. Now, of course, budget. The budget week is what it is. Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan is set to present the most anticipated post-1994 budget this week, which comes against a backdrop of tough economic conditions here in South Africa. Then, President Jacob Zuma has commended members of the South African National Defence Force for making the country proud in their peacekeeping missions across the continent. Of course, we saw Armed Forces Day in Port Elizabeth yesterday. Then, the civil war in Syria has seen scores of refugees crossing the sea to reach Europe, where they are not always welcome. But there's new hope for one Syrian family. They found a home here in South Africa. It's a wonderful story. You can go get it on our website or on our Facebook page. Our website, of course, you just put in Newsroom in the search bar on Facebook, will pop up. Our website is sabc.co.za/news, and you can go and read that story a little bit more detail on us. Then, yeah, in Gauteng, of course, for those of you that live in the industrial and economic hub of the African continent, well, today, there you see this celebratory mood in Gauteng at the provincial legislature. Today, of course, it's SOPA. The State of the Province address will be delivered today in Gauteng. Hopefully we'll be there a little bit later for an update. Of course, there are a couple of others happening throughout the rest of the week. Limpopo and Mpumalanga. Last week we saw Port Elizabeth and even Western Cape. So today it's Gauteng. Hopefully we'll get a quick update in our regional slot to tell us what's happening with regards to that. But let's take a break. When we come back, hopefully we'll be able to wrap up the Mozambican, the issue around Mozambique.
Manor produces abstract and symbolic works of art. He called his latest collection Vote with Ink, Not Blood.
Praying for peace, literally, in my own way.
The South African film titled Luister or Listen in Afrikaans tackles issues of race in the country.
I think that the end goal is the reformation of institutional culture, but how we get there is in fact through changing the language policy so that no student is forced to learn in Afrikaans.
It's fashion designers like Julia Mpoko who are starting to pay more attention to menswear and hope to make a mark in the fashion industry.
So regardless of whether you're African, European, there's certain styles that you like. So if an African man enjoys wearing simple, well-tailored pants, then yes, I guess.
Join Refulo Mula for that 1 hour weekly dose of arts and entertainment news every Friday at 9 p.m. on Trends.
Our eyes are the window to the beautiful wonders of the world, but blindness enhances other senses. Technology has made living with blindness easy.
If you look on the side here, it's got like grooves in there. Yeah. So the first one after when it comes together will be 20 Rand, 50 Rand. And if I slide this in, I can see, according to the grooves, it's now on 50 Rand.
To Steve Kekana, blindness was never a hindrance, but a blessing.
You got to know that you are the child of the universe, being blind, and you've got the right to be here.
Join your host, Dr. Sello Mutawun, every Saturday from 9 a.m. As stories are broken around the world, SABC makes sure you do not miss out. As the stories unfold throughout the day, News at 8 updates all newsworthy stories worldwide. Globally, we are there. Locally, we leave no story untold. Make a date with News at 8 every Saturday and Sunday on SABC News, Africa's news leader.
Technology isn't all scary. There's also fun stuff like gaming.
Lots of women do play games, whether it's on their phones or their tablets.
Then there are Africans who are using new tools to make other people's lives much easier.
We typed the whole CV on a small, QWERTY Nokia phone.
For all these and other technology and social media news, join me, Spumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time on SABC News.
Welcome back. Now, for more on how the rising tension and violence in Mozambique has caused thousands of people to flee to Malawi, UNICEF says worsening conflicts across the world sees children being exposed to extreme violence, and in some instances, children end up being forcibly recruited and deliberately targeted by warring groups. Now, to give us a little bit more, we're joined by Mangala Travis, who is the UNICEF country representative in Malawi. A very good morning to you. Mangala, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Morning.
Just give me a quick idea as to how this conflict is escalating. What are the refugees saying coming out of Mozambique? And do we see any of these refugees affected by violence, injuries, and so forth?
Yeah, the situation is really not good, and that's largely because it's very difficult at the moment to plan for what's happening. We're getting very little information from Mozambique, but what we see on the Malawi side, which is quite close to the border, is currently around over 6,000 refugees in what has to be described as a bit of a makeshift camp, and it's really not a good situation, especially for the women and children, which is UNICEF's concern. So it went from around December, we were seeing around 20, 25 people crossing a day. We're now looking at 600 who came in last Saturday. And the camp is really not meant for that number of people. We've got a situation with overcrowding. UNICEF is putting in latrines, boreholes for clean water, trying to keep up with things, but really it's not a good situation.
Tell us the situation for children specifically, schooling, security, counselling if they needed, all these sorts of things. Is there this kind of facility to help them overcome the trauma?
Yes, well, we have set up, and again, it's very makeshift, but we've set up a space using one of the tents we have, where children can come in the day, where there's trained counsellors from the local council who understand, what's needed. So for all these situations in children, you want to get them back into routines, back into some element of normal life. So we do that through a bit of play therapy, counselling, having them be able to be children. But that doesn't get away from the fact that we're hearing, that families have been split up. I spoke to a mother who literally doesn't know where her husband is. He disappeared in the night. There's another mother who had to leave some of her children behind. She's now desperately trying to find out what's happened to them. So, the atmosphere, we do what we can, but the atmosphere for these children is really not a good situation. And we hope it will be at least stabilized in the near future.
Are you concerned with the threat of disease hanging over these camps and how this will play out in the lives of children?
Certainly. We're working with MSF, who have set up a medical tent, so at least there are services being provided. But when you have this level of concentration, it's currently raining, the camp is very muddy, And as I said, we've got some latrines, but it's not enough. Then there's a great concern that you'll get diarrhea, other waterborne diseases, and we're just hoping that something can be done, possibly moving these people to a better site before any of those things erupt. At the moment, we managed to handle the cases which are largely malaria, chest infections, diarrhea that's coming through, but it's not really sustainable the way it is at the moment.
And what are the Malawian government saying with regards to the move, with regards to a new site to house all these refugees?
At the moment, there's a lot of discussion ongoing. As you can imagine, it's quite a fluid situation. We understand there have been talks between UNHCR, who's managing this site, with the Malawian and Mozambican authorities. But at the moment, we have no information on what's been agreed.
Well, thank you very much, Angela Travis, giving us that update from Malawi. Of course, the escalating situation with regards to the high numbers of refugees crossing the border out of Mozambique into Malawi. Of course, camps, illness, disease and the like continues to threaten the lives of especially children. Women and children are always the most at risk. Our question of the day, of course, was with regard, should there be more of a focus? Should there be more of a focus? That's our question of the day on the violence and the humanitarian crisis in Mozambique. Now, that's our question of the day. Of course, other stories. China's University of Technology said a language task team has proposed amendments to the institution's language policy, which will include that English be the primary language of instructions in all lectures and that Afrikaans and Sepedi be used to provide additional support to students in tutorials and practicals. Lots of unhappiness with regards to what's happening at Tuks. It's Tuck shutdown. Dominic says then if classes are offered both in English and Afrikaans, predominantly in English.
The sovereignty of the people, probably you should explain that to me.
The sovereignty of the people is above everything.
It is not proper the way facts are presented to the public. Are you in contact with Khosekgolo Motshodi?
He was kicked out by the court because he wanted to be amicus curiae.
For your weekly dose of all things legal, join Dumile Mateza every Sunday at 2 p.m. only on SABC News Channel.
Ahika Manor produces abstract and symbolic works of art. He called his latest collection Vote with Ink, Not Blood.
Praying for peace, literally, in my own way.
The South African film titled Luister or Listen in Afrikaans tackles issues of race in the country.
I think that the end goal is the reformation of institutional culture, but how we get there is in fact through changing the language policy so that no student is forced to learn in Afrikaans.
It's fashion designers like Julia Mpoko who are starting to pay more attention to menswear and hope to make a mark in the fashion industry.
So regardless of whether you're African, European, there's certain styles that you like. So if an African man enjoys wearing simple, well-tailored pants, then yes, I guess.
Join Refulo Mula for that 1 hour weekly dose of arts and entertainment news every Friday at 9 p.m. on Trends.
It's 10:00 hours Central Africa time on this Monday, the 22nd of February 2016. This is Newsroom on SABC News, Channel 404. If you've just joined us, Jumbo Africa, and a very warm welcome as we broadcast live from our Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg, South Africa, to the rest of the African continent. I'm Elvis Preston. I'll be with you until 12 o'clock, and you have to stay with us as we broadcast live from our Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. And we're also streaming live on YouTube with the entire show now available on our YouTube channel. Our question for the day is, should there be more focus on the violence and humanitarian crisis in Mozambique? You've heard the interviews. You've heard some of our reporters talking to us about the situation unraveling there. So let us know what's on your mind. are the Twitter handle at SABC Newsroom. Also like us on the Facebook page and make your comment over there. Right now, let's take a look at your headlines. The sentencing hearing of Czech fugitive Radovan Kriča and 5 others resumes at South Gauteng High Court. Students from the University of Pretoria arrested last night during clashes with police. They appear in court today. And the Democratic Alliance and independent candidates contesting the by-elections in the Tlokwe municipality will approach the Electoral Court. Now, those are all your headlines, but before we get to the news, let's find out from Kendall Makhamate what's happening on the sports front. Very good morning.
Good morning, Elvis. It's Monday morning. A very busy weekend we all had with all sorts of great results for some and not so great for others. Good morning. This is what we have for you in the sports today.
It's going to be back-to-back sixes for AB de Villiers. He's racing along to the
AB de Villiers and Hashim Amla inspired the Proteas to a clean sweep of the T20 series, thrashing England by 9 wickets at the Wanderers.
Of only 20. Let up on the far side. 4 in the box already! Oh, it's beautifully done! Win play of extreme quality!
Orlando Pirates were just too good for Black Aces, running rings around them and winning by 3-1 in Nelspruit.
And I believe that I can win every match that I play against anybody on any surface.
World number 1 Novak Djokovic checks in at the Dubai Championships. That's what we have for you in the sport. Be sure to stick around for that. Around about 10:20 or so. Back to you, Elvis.
Thank you, Kendall. He will be back a little bit later, so you have to stay tuned. Your top story this hour. The long-delayed sentencing hearing of Czech fugitive Radovan Kriča and 5 others is scheduled to resume in the High Court in Johannesburg today. It's already started. Now, they were found guilty of attempted murder, kidnapping and intent to deal in drugs in August last year.
3 Hawks officers are among the convicted. The case relates to a 2013 foil drug deal during which Becky Temba Lukele was assaulted and kidnapped. This after Lukele's brother, the courier, disappeared with Kriča's tick. The little outstanding matter, sentencing.
The accused should know that there comes an end of continued postponements. They've been convicted, they're convicts, they need to be sentenced and dealt with as persons who have been convicted and sentenced. You say it makes a difference.
Yes.
Well, then they definitely need to be sentenced earlier rather than later.
Will Kriča again throw a spoke in the wheel?
Yes, this is the man. Just wait. Just wait. It was not.
With an increasingly irate judge.
Even if it means to infringe on an otherwise constitutional right to legal representation towards the accused, then so be it. Because in this instance, it's a question of an abuse of his rights. And there's a big distinction. The court cannot tolerate these kind of postponements and hiccups every now and then.
If Kriča pulls it off again, it will further frustrate the bench and his co-accused, who have already cried prejudice. Gillian Pillay, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Now, as you know, that the court hearing is supposed to continue this morning. Let's take a quick preview as what is happening in court right now as we speak. As you can see, some of the legal teams already taken their seats. I think if we can just scroll down with the camera, see in the gallery there's some of the people that's already in court. I think that's some of the accused that we see sitting there. And we're still probably waiting for Kriča. As you also know, look at the security detail around the court. Heavy security detail. There's a veil of security around the court, inside and outside the court. This man, as you know, Radovan Kriča, there was a number of escape plans uncovered already. Question that was posed a little bit earlier by one of our viewers: why has the co-accused to these attempted escapes not been arrested as yet? Where are they? Now, Kriča will be coming through shortly as well, and then we wait for the judge to continue with this case this morning. So it's a case that everybody's looking forward to. We also heard our reporter Gillian Pillay indicating that he might be a spoke in the wheel again to the continuation. Let's listen quickly. seems like they are waiting for the accused Radovan Krecher to make his appearance. As you can see, the policeman coming up there from the bottom, that's from the jail cells, it looks like, and it seems like he's going to come through. But we'll keep you updated as the trial continues, so you have to stay tuned on your favorite channel right here on Channel 404. This is Newsroom. Staying in the courts, 3 men will appear in the Mthatha Magistrates Court in the Eastern Cape this morning for allegedly possessing dagga worth over R500,000. Now, they were arrested at a roadblock on the outskirts of Mthatha.
Police were surprised that this light buggy could be stashed with over 20 bags of dagga. Neatly and securely packed, the bags had quality dagga according to police. The bags had labels apparently indicating the clients they were destined to.
Normally from our side, we're catching them between 7 and 10 during the night, and also from 12 up to 4 a.m. They think from their side that it is safe for them to transport the dagga.
The confiscated buggy did not display the area number plate. Police believe the suspects worked smart as they had another surveillance car that was lucky to escape. Khaled Ukobo, SABC News, Mthatha.
A string of protests are expected to hit the streets of the CBD, that's the Pretoria CBD, in a short while. But before we get to that story, let's go back to court to find out what is happening in the Radovan Krecher case. He just stepped out from the gallows and he is in court right now.
I think they'll announce themselves. You appear for the state?
As the court, sorry, my lord.
Do you appear for the state?
Indeed, my lord.
Right.
For
who appears for accused one?
For number one, we have Mr.
Well, I'll ask them. Let them announce themselves.
As the court.
Yes, who appears for accused one?
May it please the court, my lord. I have been appearing on behalf of accused number 1 and 2. On behalf of accused number 2 as instructing attorney of Advocate van der Heever. As indicated to your lordship via communication through your lordship's registrar, my mandate has been terminated to deal with a specific matter on sentence on behalf of the first accused. I therefore beg leave to withdraw as attorney of record on behalf of accused number 1. May I just also place on record that my last instruction from the first applicant was to request your lordship that he not appear in court in handcuffs and chains. May it please the court.
Well, you don't act for it.
As the court pleases.
When did you notify my clerk that you were withdrawing?
Via email during the course of last week, my lord. I in fact withdrew in writing already last year, at the end of last year, but I have confirmed same during the course of
yes,
last
so
week.
you've been off record since last year?
Yes, indeed, sir.
Yes. Is anyone appearing for accused one?
My Lord, I wonder if this might be an opportune moment to address your lordship.
Yes, Mr. Karam.
As the court pleases. My Lord, in the course of last week, the state notified Legal Aid South Africa of the impending withdrawal of accused number 1's counsel.
The Legal Aid Board? Or Legal Centre?
Legal Aid South Africa.
Legal Aid South Africa?
Yes.
You are the people who supply counsel to accused who don't have a counsel?
That is so, my Lord. No reasons were furnished, and it was envisaged that the possibility may arise that it was due to lack of funding. Legal Aid South, various representatives, including myself, attended at a meeting on this past Friday, that is the 19th of February, at the prison and had a brief meeting with accused number 1. And it transpires that accused number 1 is neither needy nor indigent, and as such does not qualify for legal aid. And I would respectfully request that your lordship place that on record.
Well, you've done it.
Thank you, my lord.
Thank you. Who appears for accused 2?
May it please the court, my lord. I appear on behalf of accused number 2 together with Advocate Buthelezi and Advocate Simangi, as the court pleases.
Mr. Spanneberg.
May it please the court, my lord. I still appear for accused 3 to 6.
3, 4, 5 and 6.
Correct.
Mr. Croucher.
Yes, my lord.
What do you propose doing about legal counsel?
I beg your pardon?
What do you propose doing about having legal counsel represent you?
I don't need today legal counsel, my lord.
You
I will
don't
represent
need
myself.
You've been advised that you could have them. You had the legal aid services visit you. Your counsellors visited you, and you know that you can have legal counsel. You decline.
It's not declined, my lord. The legal aid visited me last week on Thursday, and they suggest, according to my information, Mr. Mashiani sent them to visit me. They visited me. They told me that they are here if I need them service. I couldn't lie to them. I still told them that I've got the money on the account of Mr. Nadis Crovier. So they said, in this case, unfortunately, we can't represent you because you are not qualified for us as a client for the legal aid. So these guys actually left. So I couldn't use their services. And regarding Mr. Nadis Crovier, that his mandate is terminated for several reasons, which I can...
Well, it doesn't matter. It's since last year. Is that right?
Sorry?
It's since last year.
Well, it's not since last year. It's I was transferred after in 9th of December to Kokstad prison. I couldn't have any consultation with my lawyers. I couldn't call them. So I had first opportunity to speak to Mr. Nadis Crovier on 6th of February this year.
Yes, and you declined to have his services.
Well, there is a conflict of interest.
Well, I'm not into... You declined to have him.
Yes.
And you declined to approach other lawyers to have them.
I approached other lawyers. I approached 2 different lawyers, which I believe some of them, they send you also notification. One of them is Mr. Cliff Alexander, but unfortunately they are not available for today.
And so what do you propose to do?
I propose to do... I would like to apply for or I would like to have the interpreter, my lord, and I want to launch the application for your recusal from my sentencing procedure.
Well, do it.
Well, I said I need a interpreter by the section 35(1)K South African Constitution.
Mr. Croucher, throughout this trial, which has been conducted in English, you have declined to have an interpreter. Is that not correct?
It's not correct because when I was testifying, my lord, I had an interpreter here. I can try. I can proceed now. I can try, my lord. I can. I'm ready, so we can start. Then, if it's some difficulties, I don't want to waste the court time, and I just want to state it that I'm really the last person who doesn't want to be sentenced or who wants to be sentenced not today. My present conditions are terrible. Since you last time on the appearance on the court,
Mr. Croucher, Mr. Croucher,
yes,
I don't want to hear about all those things. I want to hear about what's happening today. So you'll carry on.
I can.
You will carry on.
I can carry on, and if I see that we have some difficulties because of my poor language, I can apply for the interpreter.
Good.
My lord.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mashiani.
Hello.
Is there a Czech interpreter?
No, no.
Well, you must make arrangements to get one in case we need it.
Indeed,
By no later than tomorrow.
I will do my best.
All right.
Malot, I just want to put one aspect very clear. about the legal representation of accused number 1. It is indeed so that Mr. Khrovier withdrew from the record late last year. However, my lord, I have since received a letter from Mr. Khrovier by email on the 27th of January 2016, where he indicated that he has been briefed once more to come on record to represent Mr. Krecha for the sentencing proceedings. So it is not entirely correct that he withdrew already by last year.
Yes.
However, my lord, I must also clarify that I have received a telephone call, which was followed by an email from my lord's registrar last week Wednesday, to the effect that Mr. Khrovier is withdrawing once more from representing Mr. Krecha. The reasons were not furnished. And as a result of that, my lord, I indeed made a phone call to the head of the Legal Aid Board to see if they cannot assist Mr. accused number 1 with legal representation. Hence, Advocate Karam placed on record that on Friday they went up to see accused number 1. But as the development has it today, it would appear that accused number 1 is able to proceed and has chosen to proceed on his own. I think I'm therefore ready to proceed, ma'am.
Yes.
As the court, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Krecha, what do you want? Do you want to apply for my recusal?
My lord, the very last things related. Well, I don't believe that after a newspaper article, which was on Thursday, 17th of February, saying that I'm plotting to kill you, my lord, that you, my lord, are not biased, and even if you say that you are not, it's still my perception and perception of other people in general that you are biased, and justice must seem to be done. It's my perception to all the trial that you are the biased. I want to state it that I instructed my previous lawyers, who was Mr. Duplessis and Mrs. Annelien van der Heerwe, that I did ask to launch a recusal application for your recusal several times through all the court proceedings, but they didn't for some reason. And they told me, yes, but for me, as I said, for some unknown reason, they didn't launch this application. I terminated a mandate after that, after the conviction sentence. That was one of the main reasons. And I wish to call them in the box and that they can confirm what I'm saying. So I wish to call Mr. Duplessis and Mrs. van der Heerwe to answer if what I'm saying is correct or not. After your conviction judgment, I appointed new lawyer as Mr. Nadis Khrovier. And my first instruction to him was to bring or launch application for your recusal as well from my sentencing procedure. But he refused as well. So I tried in person to bring this recusal application on the last appearance here for you, my lord, by myself, when I raised my hand in the court, at least for 10 minutes, and to draw your attention, but you completely ignored me, my lord. So I have been prejudiced, and I am able to show you why. So that's the reason why I'm asking for your recusal from my sentencing procedure. Obviously the main reason, because before I will start with all the facts, My application to you to recuse yourself from sentencing procedure is that you are biased, you are unfair, unobjective, dishonest, proven untruthful from record.
Just repeat: biased, unfair,
unobjective, dishonest, and proven on the record that you are untruthful.
And proven to be untruthful.
What is the other
Yeah.
one? I have
What are the
noticed,
facts,
my lord, that
Mr. Kracher?
you always have
Mr.
to be-
Kracher?
Yes, my lord.
What are the facts which underlie those conclusions?
It's facts from the transcript which I have with me. I would like to go through this transcript and go through all this unfairness or biasness from your side. My lord. Well, before we will go to this merits, I know you always asking for the authority. I brought some authority that I can bring the
Don't worry about the
refusal
authority
application.
now, Mr. Kracher.
Sorry,
Don't worry
my
about
lord.
the authority now. Tell me why I'm biased. You've said because the newspaper published something, and you
No,
perceive.
that's the last things I said in the newspaper. It's not something. It was in the media last week. It was another article that I'm plotting to kill you.
Yes.
And I want to
That found
categorically
that.
state it is not
Mr.
the truth.
Kracher,
Yes, my
has
lord.
that found that allegation? That's the reason why you say I'm biased.
Well, it's one of the reasons.
What's the other reason?
The other reason is that you always treated differently my counsel compared to the state counsel through the whole procedure, whole the trial.
Yes.
Another reason is for you to putting not once your words to the state witness's mouth.
Put what? My words.
Your words, yes. Through the questioning of the state witnesses,
Yes.
you did put several times your words to the state witness's mouth.
Yes.
One of the also main reason for you to have always those secret confidential meetings with the security people and police, SABC, who was whispering some stories and lies to you, to your ears without to disclose those fabricated sensational action stories to my counsel. For you to we started when we started on the 8th of the May 2014. This courtroom looked like a courtroom. Right now, as you look this courtroom, it looks like a circus related to the security. Because as I remember, we started with the 3 security people. After was 5. After I don't know what happened. But right now, when I turn here, this atmosphere in this court is I don't know what to say. I don't know what is the effects, why so many security people are here. Because as you said, there is the allegation that I wanted to kill you, but it's the same allegation that I wanted to escape. It's the same allegation that I had the gun in my cell and I smuggled this gun to my cell. It's the same allegation like every time before any court appearance in the newspaper, because the facts is that I never been charged for anything what this allegation said. Included all your security stories, what was brought to you, that I want to throw bottle on you and all this.
I don't recollect saying that.
Well, that was, my lord, I want to explain you know, when I went down, one of the appearance, I released this information to the 2 TRT guys, that I'm going to throw next time the bottle of the water on you.
Oh, you said that?
I said that because I wanted to know if this information will come to you.
Well,
it was only 2 TRT guys with me. The next appearance when I came here, you give the instruction that I mustn't take the bottle of the water with me to the appearance. This is what I received. So in my mind, I can see that this information clearly came to you without to disclose this information to my counsel, for example. Okay, there is a, sorry, for you, another reason for you to believe that I organized to kill you before, when this court started. From the start, you explained or you mentioned the issue what happened to you on the way home. Then some bullet of chipstone break your window in the car. So I had this was the first moment when I applied for your recusal, and with my advocate and with my lawyer, and I said this judge can't continue in my case. Obviously, if he believes that I want to kill him, then it's not how it's supposed to be, because it's not true, obviously. And I don't know what happened with the story. It's on the record, but
what's on the record?
It's on the record that actually you mentioned that I will tell you exactly when we go
What's
to
on the record is that I said there was no evidence that you had shot me.
Yes, but you see that already that you mentioning my name.
I beg your pardon?
Already, my lord, that you mentioned my name in this case, in this you know, in this situation, what happened to you, it's irregular. It's unfair. I mean, why will I try to kill you? First of all, and secondly, why did you mention only my name from 6 to accused?
I think there was some issue between you and the complaint that the newspapers were linking it to you.
You see, it's another allegation.
Would you just listen to me?
Yes.
And I said, as far as I'm concerned, it's not linked to you. Anyway, we don't need to debate all these things. Yes, what else?
I want to submit that you disclose information about my conviction to your close friends before your judgment.
Who?
It's your medical doctor.
My medical doctor.
Yes. And
who's my medical
the woman, she was here as the...
Who's my medical doctor?
Dr. Libos.
Dr. Libos?
Yes.
He's not my medical doctor.
Well, then, if I remember correctly, you mentioned that you know this person very well, and you
I do.
His,
I do know him very well.
Okay. So.
And I've not seen him for that reason since I started with this case and became aware that he might be a witness.
I received the...
Until this date, I have not seen him.
Okay. Well, I received this information from my medical doctor who is working with him. And
who would that be?
Sorry?
Who's your medical doctor?
Dr. Lichtenberg, Milan Lichtenberg.
Well, I don't know about all this, but I have not seen that man.
It might be allegation.
And I've not spoken to him until after your conviction.
Yeah. It's the same, you know, when it's...
Well, you want to know, I'm telling you.
I believe you. I am not...
well, then that's the end of
I
that.
received this information. They sent even the letter and email to my family that's what happened. So I'm mentioning you one of the reasons when we do this summary.
Yeah, what else?
Look, I believe that last time or previous time you interfere with my prison conditions without any facts. You just speculated that I am still awaiting trial or sentenced prisoner, but I should be treated like a convict, like a sentenced person. Yes. I believe that...
I said that in court.
Yes, it's in court.
Yes.
It's in court.
I was told that the law is that you're not treated as that because the section provides that you're awaiting trial until you're sentenced. So that was dealt with.
Yes, but unfortunately you said that I can't have the same rights and privileges as an unsentenced person, as awaiting trial any longer. And the DCS must do something about it. And DCS did something about it. They sent me to Kokstad.
Well, they must do whatever they want. I don't decide that, and I was apparently wrong on the law. Yes. What next?
Another reason is that while my lawyer Duplessis was representing me, and it was I think 3 appearances ago, you had the comment to him that if he cannot explain me that I will be sentenced as soon as possible, that you're going to explain me as you as a Lamont.
As a what?
As you as Lamont. You said to him that
well,
you...
it will be on the record.
Sorry?
It will be on the record.
Yeah, it will be on the record.
I don't
think it's...
What does that mean on biased?
I don't think it's... I think it's irregular. It's, first of all, then...
Why is it irregular?
Because I had my lawyer here and who represented me, so it wasn't any reason to talk to me directly. And secondly, it was irregular because I am not the one who delay sentencing procedure.
Yes. What else?
Your another comment was that I did nothing to proceed with the sentencing procedure related to this money issue, my lord.
What money issue?
There was the issue, if you recall last time, that Mr. Ramuhala, the very same investigating team, blocked this money.
Oh, yes.
And I arranged money from my mother. She was those times on ICU in the hospital.
Yes, and what
you
happened
said
to
that I did nothing to bring this money and proceed the sentencing. So I just want to correct that I arranged this money through my mother. She was on the ICU hospital. To be here in South Africa available on time, and for me to be able to pay my lawyers and counsel, senior counsel, which was confirmed from the Mr. Du Plessis that he booked senior counsel Sita Kolbe SC, and she was willing to represent me. She even said that this time she's very busy with another long trial with Mr. Mashiane. I'm sure he's going to confirm as a prosecutor in this trial. But she was willing to prepare in the 2 Saturdays and 2 Sundays for me to be sentenced, and I was happy about this. It was arranged, it was confirmed, but when this money arrived, as usual, this money was sent in as usual for past 2 years from the same person from my mother.
What's all this got to do with me, Mr. Croucher?
It's got to do that you said that I did nothing to proceed, but I did everything to proceed, my lord. I did everything possible.
So what does that mean? Mr. Croucher,
yes,
what does that mean I'm biased?
It means that you just speculate, my lord. I mean, you said you did nothing, accused number 1, before any objective facts in front of you, my lord.
What does it mean I'm biased? That's what I'm asking you.
Yes, you are biased.
I'm biased, right. What else have you got to say?
I want to submit, I believe you are part of this conspiracy, which I was saying from the day one, my lord.
Which conspiracy?
Conspiracy against me and my family. It's a people that...
when did I become part of this conspiracy, Mr. Croucher?
I believe that you become part of this conspiracy since you start believing that I want to kill you when the chipstone break your front windscreen, for example.
Was it a chipstone? You seem to know more about it than I do. How do you know it's a chipstone?
You mentioned this as a one possibility, what could happen to you.
But you choose that possibility as a fact.
Well, I am saying because I know that I didn't do anything, so
no one's saying
and you accuse me. Sorry.
No one has said you've done anything, Mr. Croucher.
Well,
have I ever said you've done anything?
Well, I had this impression, and you said on the record that I am. You actually discussed this matter only towards me, not to accuse 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 6.
I think at that time there was some complaint about the newspapers or the television or just general in public that they were saying it was you. So I cleared it up that it was not you as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, that's correct.
So what's the problem with that? That's in your favor.
Well, it's in my favor maybe today, but it wasn't in my favor when it happened.
Thank you, Mr. Croucher. What else have you got?
I believe that you stay in Bedford View, my lord.
How would you know that?
Well,
how would you know that?
I read this in the newspaper, like you.
You did? Which
Sorry?
one? Which newspaper?
I will come for the next appearance and bring this article.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a problem? Is it too close to where you used to live?
Yeah, it's very close. It's the same. It's the same district where I used to live.
And when did I start living there?
I beg your
When
pardon?
did I start living there?
When?
Yes.
I started living there in
No,
2008.
not you, me.
I beg your pardon?
Me.
You?
Yes.
What do you mean you, my lord?
You say I live there. I'm saying, when did I live there?
Well, that's what I read in the newspaper. So
what's that got to do with your case?
It's got to do in my case that if it's true that you are in Bedford View and I am from Bedford View, and there was this issue in the media about a petition, people writing petition that they believe that I'm behind some bomb attack, which was some terrorist attack in the place in the Bedford View, where I used to go to this restaurant in the Money Point, and until today no investigation was done related to this matter, because it was attempt of my life, like a second matter, which was another attempt of my life with this red polo. Also, no investigation was done in this case from the state.
And what are you suggesting is my role in any of these things?
I'm just, it's not your role. I'm not saying that your role is related to this bomb attack or whatever. I'm just saying that if we live in the same place, because you are reading these newspapers, even though you said that you're not involved with the media, but I will prove to you on transcript that it was untruthful what you said, because one day you said to my advocate Van der Ierwe, Miss Van der Ierwe, did you see yesterday in the news, in the media, how did you wave your hands, for example? And 3 months later you said you never watch the TV related to this case, you never read the articles related to this case, you're not involved with anything related to this case through the media. So I'm saying that one day you're saying, did you see yesterday, I saw you, go and look how you're waving your hands. But after you said, my lord, I never been involved in the, I never watched this
I do
TV
try and sanitize myself from that public expression.
So,
but I listen to the news. I hear this morning you said some things, or someone says you said some things, or someone's got an opinion about you.
But my
what
lord,
must I do? Turn
you
it
deny
off?
completely on the
Mr.
one...
Kratche,
Yes, my lord.
must I turn it off? Can I be sanitized so completely from the public? I can't. I can only, as far as I'm able, disregard all these things.
Well, look, my lord, I complained several times that all these allegations from the media are just allegations and fantastical and sensational stories, because we went through this case for more than 2 years, and there was hundreds of these allegations towards me, but from none of these allegations I was charged or any action was taken. So it was just the fabricated allegations for the newspaper sensational business.
And I'll treat it that way.
I am not convinced, my lord.
Well, that's fine. I understand you where you stand. Yes, what else have we got to say?
I strongly believe, I want to submit that on the end of this case, when you give the conviction judgment, you didn't recognize, purposely you didn't recognize, incompetency from conspiracy. We went through the objective evidence, for example, with Mr. Ramuhala or one of my main investigating officer, or Mr. Gininda. These people are proven untruthful people on the record.
Well,
you even give the strong judgment related to Mr. Ramuhala.
Mr. Kratche,
yes, my lord.
that judgment's delivered. You'll deal with it whenever you want to deal with it.
Yeah.
If
what I'm saying,
you said I showed bias by giving that judgment in the way I did, is that your case?
No, I want to say that you are biased, that you deliberately didn't wanted to recognize that it's not incompetency from Mr. Ramuhala, but it's a conspiracy, because if it's incompetency, then he doesn't need to lie under oath. And if it's conspiracy, he's got something to hide.
Yes, thank you. What else?
You mentioned last time, my lord, on the record that it was very, this case where we're standing, it was very violent and I don't know this word now, but we will go through this. You actually say on the record that we all waiting for the long sentence imprisonment. So you believe we're supposed to have time to prepare, but
well, that is the threat that faces you. Long period of imprisonment. It's a serious threat that faces you.
Well,
and
because
you need to
I've
prepare.
never been involved in this case, my lord. And
Yes. What's the point that you're making?
My point is that you already said that this case is very unusual. This case is very violent. This case is very. I'm looking for this word, but I can't remember.
Well,
this
I
word.
understand what you said.
Yes, and you said that I'm facing the long-term imprisonment.
You are. You're not going to face necessarily a 10 rand fine.
No, I'm not
this
saying.
This is not a loaf of bread case for 10 rand.
My lord.
You're facing very serious charges.
Which I never did it.
Well, that's a different thing.
I believe that you are biased because you already convict me. I believe that you will not convict me, first of all. So, and I never been involved in this case. Yes. So, that's why, I spent already more than 2 years in the custody for something which I never done. So, in these regards, if I'm hearing that you're saying it's very violent, I am this dangerous criminal who will face the long-term imprisonment, then I'm not happy about it. I believe that you are biased, you are unobjective.
Well, obviously you're unhappy about it. Anyone who gets convicted who keeps denying that he did something is unhappy. I expect you to be unhappy, but does that mean I'm biased?
It means that you are biased, that you convict me, even though I know that I never been involved in this case.
Yes, yes. What else have you got?
I want to say, my lord, that when I read the conviction judgment, me and the rest of the co-accused being convicted based on the testimony of Peter Musimang and complainant Lukele, basically. There is no one objective piece of evidence against me.
Well, you can deal with all of that in due course.
Okay, we will deal with all of them in due course.
Unless you say it has a bearing on me being biased, which you said.
My lord?
Unless you say it has a bearing on me being biased, which you say I am because I convicted you.
Yes, based on the testimony of the two people, without any objective piece of evidence.
Well, the judgment is there; it speaks for. I'm not going to debate the judgment with you.
That's we will go through it when I go through the judgment.
Mr. Gracher, while you look at that, may I just deal with something?
Yes, my lord.
Mr. Karam, do you have any further reason to be in court?
No, my lord.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for tendering the services of the legal assistance to the accused, and you may be excused from further attendance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I use the opportunity to also
And you similarly, Mr. Favier. Thank you. You may also. But are you not staying as the instructing attorney of accused too?
My lord,
Voice over. But
the whole transcript. So I wish to be allowed to, if you can maybe give the court order that tomorrow I will be able to bring the transcript that we can go through it.
I don't propose going through the transcript page by page on your recusal application.
Well, there is the facts in the transcript, my lord, that I want to.
Well, you'll tell me what they are to the extent that you say they are there. You've told me many of them. What else do you have? And I'm aware of what's in the record. Yes, what else do you have, Mr. Kretcher?
My Lord, that was only summary what I told you. Now I would like to go through the transcript, through the whatever I said to confirm exactly what was the words, what you used, and like I said, you used you put the words in the witness's mouth. I want to exactly explain you what I mean by that. So I really need this transcript to be available for me, that I can all this summary what I told you now to be proven word by word from you. I can do my homework, I did my homework, that I don't need to bring the 6,000 pages. I will bring only 100 pages, which we will be done in the 1 hour, for example. Then that will be end of my application.
You're applying for a postponement to produce further evidence?
Yes, my Lord, because...
Is that your application?
Yes, my Lord.
Thank you. What do you have to say, Mr. Mashiani?
Well, I'm in the position to respond as regards the...
I'm asking you, what do you have to say about the application for postponement to get the record? Do you think he needs to get the record, or you don't think he needs to?
I don't need to get the record. I think
the record speaks for itself.
Mr. Kretcher has sufficiently made his case.
Thank you. Application for postponement refused. Yes, Mr. Kretcher.
That I will, in this case, in this regards, if I cannot be allowed to bring the transcription, then I have nothing to say further.
Thank you. Do you have anything you wish to say about the recusal application, Mr. Mashiani?
Well, look, I do have
You may sit, Mr. Kretcher. Yes.
I just wonder if it's not opportune to give the co-accused a chance in case any of the co-accused want to pursue this kind of application, so that whenever I get to respond, I respond to all the applications that would have been brought.
Do you wish to say anything, Mrs. Spanenberg? Thank you. Yes, Mr. Mashiani.
Thank you, Malot. Malot, it's my submission that the application for recusal should be dismissed. It would appear from Mr. Kretcher's application that he had gone through the various newspaper articles and read the allegations and turned those allegations into facts, which facts do not necessarily apply before this court. I therefore, my Lord, apply that the application be dismissed and we proceed with the sentence.
Yes, Mr. Kretcher, do you have any reply?
My Lord, I would like to ask you, can I be unchained here in this courtroom?
It's a security issue.
It's only me who's got these chains.
Mr. Kretcher, it's a security issue which you must approach the relevant authority that chained you.
My Lord, I think you are the best relevant authority to take this decision. And it's showing you how biased you are if you don't allow me to be unchained.
Yes, Mr. Kretcher.
Yes,
Thank you. Anything else you want to say? Is there anything you wish to say in reply?
I wish to say in reply that my application is correct, is based on the facts. Like Mr. Mashiani saying, I used allegations from the newspapers. There was some, but I stated that I want to go through the transcript. So obviously, if I can go through the transcript, there is not any more allegation from the media, but is a fact in the record.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's all.
Thank you, Masud. In this matter, the first accused has brought an application for my recusal. The recusal application is based on the fact that there has been wide publicity concerning his threats to attack me and escape, and various other threats, including a previous attack upon me which resulted in my windscreen being damaged. apparently by a chip, according to the newspapers. None of these matters evidence my bias. I'm not influenced by any of these matters, and in no way do I show any bias in relation to accused one arising out of the publication of his supposed conduct, which has not been established. There are various complaints made concerning my conduct during the course of the proceedings, and also in the fact that I found against accused one in the judgment which I made convicting him, in which I'm accused of making deliberate findings. At no time during the proceedings did the accused bring any application for recusal arising out of my out of his perception that I was biased, and neither did any of his counsel who represented him fully and completely deem it appropriate that such applications be brought, and accordingly no such application was brought. I do not believe there is any merit in the fact that the accused currently contends that I'm biased relating to him, and that bias is reflected in the record. There is a submission made that I discussed certain matters concerning his conviction with one Libos. How this could get to the notice of the accused is beyond belief. It is true that Dr. Libos, who examined the accused and made findings relating to his medical condition, which findings were upheld incidentally, and became a consent issue. It is, however, equally true that I've not spoken to this doctor since I knew that he might be a witness, and until after the conviction. As to the security in this court, there are issues concerning the security. Originally, I made a ruling which I proposed implementing, and which was implemented, that the police who appeared in court should not carry long firearms. This resulted in, from time to time, interaction between the police and I, because it became apparent that they wished, regarding the security issue, for long firearms to be used in court. Currently, long firearms are used in court. This is a decision made by the police. It has nothing to do with me. And I dispute that there is any reason for there to be any perception of bias arising out of the fact that there are in court a large number of policemen who are well armed and who are here to protect not only the accused but the persons in this court. That includes the public, myself, and the various legal representatives and other court officials. There is no merit in the application brought by accused one for my recusal, and the application is accordingly dismissed. Right. Mr. Kracher, what do you want to say about your sentence?
About my sentence, my lord.
Just wait, Mr. Mashiani wants to say.
Before we get there, my lord, I still have proven the previous convictions.
Yes, are there previous convictions?
Indeed, my lord. I must just indicate that it's only accused number 5 who has got the previous convictions.
Yes.
If the court can just bear with me for a minute. Accused number 1, there's no previous convictions.
So the only convictions you propose proving are against number 5?
Indeed, ma'am.
Right. Mr. Spannenberg, are you aware of this?
I am aware of this.
Yes. Can they be put to the accused?
Sorry, my lord.
Can they be put to the accused, or are they admitted?
My lord, I will put them to the accused. I'm just giving the court orderly the SAP 69 for the other accused. My lord, accused number 5 has got the following previous convictions. In 1998, 18th of December, he was convicted of 2 counts of theft. And on count number 1, he was fined 1,000 rand or 3 months imprisonment. On count number 2, He was sentenced to 6 months imprisonment, wholly suspended for a period of 5 years on condition accused is not convicted of theft committed during the period of suspension. The second one, Malota, was in 2007, May the 8th. He was convicted of contravention of Section 29 of read with subsection Regulation 85(4) of the Road Traffic Act for exceeding the speed limit. He was fined 3,000 rand or 30 days imprisonment. Those are the only previous convictions. I think that is number 2.
Accused number 5, you mean?
Sorry, number 5, my lord.
These SAP 69s are not fully accepted as 2 counts of theft. It's only 1 count that they accused accepting.
And does he accept the road traffic contravention?
Correct.
Right. So you accept that or not, Mr. Mashiach?
I do accept, my lord.
Right. So which count does he admit? The fine, the count he got a fine for, or the other one?
It's for the speed.
And then the previous one, he admits he's not admitting the one with the fine.
Correct.
The one with the fine. Not yes. Okay. Yes, Mr. Mashiach, is that all?
That is all, my lord.
Accused one. Yes, what do you wish to say in amelioration of your sentence? You have an opportunity to tell me whatever you want to say.
Regarding the
You can
sentence
lead some evidence and you can yourself give evidence if you wish.
Regarding my sentence procedure, my lord, I wish to launch the application to have the legal representation because it's not only sentence, it's also leave to appeal.
No, it's not leave to appeal, it's sentence. You told me you didn't want legal representation.
No, I said I didn't want to launch the application for your recusal. I'm now talking about the sentencing. I said I arranged my lawyer, my lord, the lawyer for the sentencing, which is Cliff Alexander, which he informed you is he is my lawyer, but he couldn't be present today. And I didn't have sufficient time to consult with him right now.
Yes.
I've got the rights. I believe I'm entitled to have the legal representation of my choice.
You are.
To choose and consult.
You are.
Which I choose the lawyer for the sentence.
Mr. Kreitzer?
Yes, my lord.
Would you listen to me? You are entitled to have a lawyer, but you have to take steps to get him here at the right time. So you've had plenty of time to arrange this.
I didn't have plenty of time, my lawyer.
Why not? Why did you not have plenty of time? When did you appoint Alexander?
I appoint him on the
November, December, January, February?
It was January, my lord, if I'm not mistaken.
In January.
I was in Kokstad. I couldn't have, I was declined to see my lawyers and speak to my lawyers.
You declined?
Prison, I mean the head of the prison.
They didn't let you see him?
They didn't let me see him, they didn't let me. He let me see him for 20 minutes once. After when I asked him to call him, they never allowed me to call him. I write maybe 50 of the complaints in the prison that I want to speak to my lawyer, and they never allowed me to speak to my lawyer. So I objectively couldn't prepare for the sentencing procedure.
And was Alexander supposed to come today?
I asked him to come today, and he referred to me that he is in the court, in the High Court, with the other matter.
So you knew when you appointed him he couldn't come here today?
It wasn't when I appointed him, because I only realized when I was brought back from Kokstad. When he came to see me in the Zonderwater, he explained me.
Mr. Greicher,
yes, my lord.
You knew all along today was the day, since last year?
No, it's not. About this day today, yes, I did.
Yes.
I did, yes.
So you knew it was today?
Yes, I'm saying that...
So when you appointed him, you had to find someone who could come today, am I right?
Well, I spoke to him only on 7th of February, when he came to visit me in Zonderwater. We also never been allowed in Zonderwater to consult in private.
When did you go back to Zonderwater? You say you were there on the 7th?
Yeah, on 6th.
6th?
Yes.
Till now?
Yes, till now.
Yes.
So he's appointed as my lawyer. As I said, I also saw the criminologist. I arranged the criminologist, Mr. Zain. He came visit me in the Zonderwater. Unfortunately, he wasn't allowed to see the victim by this investigating officer, Mr. Amuhala. So he didn't meet, the criminologist didn't meet the victim yet, even though he tried several times to arrange this meeting, but unfortunately Mr. Amuhala never arranged this meeting. I also have the one point that my diaries, which was related to whole case, my diaries was taken from me by the prison authorities.
When?
It was taken on 27 of September 2015. It was the diaries I was carrying every appearance here with my notes related to this case. We launched a High Court application related to these diaries. Unfortunately, I don't have copies. I don't have notes for 2 years when we went through this all this case. I want to say that. Unfortunately, because of this Kokstad, it's not my fault that I couldn't prepare. It's a fault, what I said already in the application for your recusal, that I believe that you are behind this transfer of mine. And secondly, that is a fault of the DCS, that the Department of Correctional Services, that they never allowed me to consult by the instruction from National Commissioner. They never allowed me to meet the lawyers, to speak to them for more than 2 months. And as a proof, I am saying I've got all these...
And you declined Crevier, who came to work for you.
I beg your pardon, sir?
You declined to have Crevier, who's a lawyer.
I declined Crevier, yes, because after the last appearance here, my lord, as I mentioned to you, I raised my hand because I wasn't happy that he didn't bring this recusal application, and there is several different reasons which we are in conflict of interest. It's like a marriage, you know, the client and the lawyer relationship. When you get married, you are happy. When you go divorce, everything is changed, but you don't know when it's going to happen, the divorce. So this divorce happened between me and my lawyer, Nabis Crevier, since I came from the from the Kokstad. Yeah. And there is several different reasons. If you want me, that I can mention it.
Well, you declined to have him for whatever reason.
I beg your pardon?
You declined to have him. I mean, that's
yes,
what I understand. Right. What else?
So I brought some authority for the rights to have the legal representation, me as by my choice.
Yes, I told you. I accept that you have that right.
Yes,
but it runs out of time. You don't get it forever. It's like you are allowed to address me. It does not mean that you can sit and address me for the whole year.
My lord, honestly,
it means that you have to take steps timelessly to obtain a lawyer, and then you can have it. And you've had, in my view, it seems to me you've had a lot of time to do this.
Unfortunately not, my lord, because as I said, I was brought in from the Kokstad on 6th of February.
16 days ago. 16, it's more than 2 weeks ago.
Yes, I spoke to Mr. Cliff Alexander. He informed me we couldn't consult. That was the first problem in private. We couldn't prepare. I called on my own the criminologist. I find the criminologist for my case to be present. He is not ready with the record. This record is waiting for the approval from Mr. Ramuhala, investigating officer, to see the victim to finalize his criminologist report. From my side, from my family side, is done. Everything is only one point that we need to arrange this. He needs to arrange the consultation with the victim.
Thank you. What else?
Then I would like to ask you for the postponement for me to be to arrange my legal representative by my choice, which we know is Mr. Cliff Alexander, which I mentioned from the start, and I can read on the record just the authority for the postponement if it's necessary.
No, I understand the authority that you're saying.
Yes, that's all, my lord.
Yes, thank you. Do you want to say anything?
Thank you.
I've got nothing to add at this point, my lord. There was just one aspect. I don't know if there might have been a miscommunication about the use of the word decline. And as an officer of the court,
decline.
He used the word decline as vis-a-vis Kokstad. And I don't know if there might have been a misunderstanding with the word. I think what Mr. Kretschmer tried to convey to your lordship is that he was not allowed under any circumstances to consult during the period that he was in Kokstad, and he used the word decline in that regard.
How would you know this?
How would I know this?
Yes.
Because it's been reported in the newspapers.
No. How would you know this as counsel? That he was refused access to his
because
attorney.
I've been told that by another attorney, my lord. And as an officer of the court, I think I should be placed on record.
So it's all hearsay. We don't know. Yes, Mr. Spanenberg.
I have nothing to add.
Mr. Mashiani.
Maybe as a starting point, I wish to indicate it is not correct that accused number 1 was refused access to a consult at any stage. Now, my lord, he indicates that he was brought to Sonderwater on the 6th of February, which is correctly the position. But since the 6th of February, this marriage that he referred to was falling apart. But he doesn't do anything to get Mr. Alexander to come represent him here. He says, when I wanted Mr. Alexander to come to court today, he indicates to me he cannot make it as he's in another court. But other than that, no further steps are taken to have the accused legal representation here. I have addressed the court at length on the previous occasion that this has become a tendency where we're supposed to proceed with the sentencing, and all of a sudden there's accused number 1 with a reason not to proceed. And this clearly shows that it's a pattern that on the eve of the sentencing proceedings, accused number 1 would fire a legal representative and come to this court to say, I'm asking for another chance. My lord, one should also take into account that the accused was convicted already in August last year. This is now 6 months that he has been convicted. And on almost all the occasions, it was because the accused would fire a legal representative on the eve of the sentencing and then get a new one on board.
I'm not sure that's correct.
That is my submission, my lord.
Well, at one stage there were people who had to give reports who were not ready, for example.
Yes. But on the subsequent occasions, my lord, it was because of the reason that the accused would fire a legal representative and get another one. Coming again, my lord, to the issue of legal representative, it has been clear that the accused today, by himself, launched an application for the court's recusal, and which was dismissed. It shows, my lord, that the accused is in a position to proceed with the sentencing. However, he just doesn't want to be to the sentencing proceedings to proceed. I therefore submit, my lord, with the greatest of respect, that the application as made by accused number 1 should be dismissed.
Thank you.
As a court, please.
Any reply?
My Lord, I want to categorically stated that what Mr. Mashian is saying, that I was allowed to consult with lawyers in Kokstad, is not true. I can provide as objective evidence my complaints, which I am in possession with. It's more than 50 complaints that I'm complaining. I'm not allowed to call Mr. Cliff Alexander. I'm not allowed to call Mr. Nadis Krovia. I'm not allowed to consult. I want to state it that that's actually correct, and as I said, I apologized before that my poor English is not, so basically...
No, this is not a problem with the English.
When I said deny, it was, I meant I wasn't allowed, because if you read it...
how would the person who previously acted for you even know this?
Well, what I want to say, all the complaints, more than 50, is as a complaint. I am not allowed.
Inside knowledge through a friend of a friend of a friend, or I don't know. What.
I don't know, my lord. But I want to say that all my complaints are in the title of the complaints is complaint because I'm not allowed to call my lawyer, or I'm not allowed to consult with my lawyer. It was that's all the right word.
At all.
At all.
You didn't see one lawyer while you were there?
I saw Mr. Alexander for 20 minutes. They chased him away.
Well, you did see him.
Yes, I did see him for 20 minutes. And also related to this lawyer, it's not patent that I'm changing the lawyers. It was the before it was the Mr. Duplessis and Advocate Van Eerden. And I explained that I terminated the mandate because of not bringing this application for your recusal and after the conviction sentencing. After I appointed Mr. Crovier, and he confirmed he's got the money eventually, finally, from this investigating team, which they purposely blocked that I couldn't proceed last time. If I am not mistaken, not other accused was ready to proceed because they still was missing some of the documents and reports. So it's not like Mr. Mashian is saying that I am trying to delay. I want to categorically state I want to be sentenced as soon as possible to be able to change my present condition, which they are inhuman and is psychological torture. I wish you to come there and check by yourself to see what I'm talking about.
Am I convicted?
No, just to see because last time you just speculated I've got the rights and privileges, but it's not true. So I wish, and of course I want to proceed with the appeal, so as soon as I'm sentenced I will be more than happy.
Yes.
The last issue is that Mr. Crovier received the money, 250,000 as he mentioned last time, on his account. Finally from the curator or from, I think it was from curator. And I'm still waiting for Mr. Crovier to transfer this money to Mr. Alexander, Cliff Alexander.